All right, so it looks like I am live everywhere. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Tammy Morrison. I am a spiritual teacher, mentor, and intuitive healer. I love all things energy, and I love to help my clients get from a place where they feel stuck, where they are in burnout, where they're not having a zest for life, to a place of abundance, where they're feeling abundant, where they know that they're abundant, where things are working out for them in the ways that they desire. And so that is one of the things that I love to do, and that's my jam. And I do that typically because that is a space that I came from. That's a space where I was for over a decade. I'm realizing now that it had been over a decade. So today on Tuesday Healing Chats, I want to talk about our thoughts and how they can become things. I'm going to share a couple of healings at the end because I really feel called to share these because I know that so many people are dealing with so much stuff out here in the planet. And so one of the things I wanted to talk about is how the things that you are thinking creates your life. And so I come from a Bible background. I have also read lots of other texts as well. Um, sometimes when I think about things, it's colored in that from that lens, just because that's where I came from. And many times that is how we do in life. We where we come from colors where we're going and how we see things. And so I love to use affirmations. And so that is another thing that I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about the proper way to use them because many people are using affirmations incorrectly. So affirmations are coming from a place of already having the thing. So it is how you take yourself to the place or to the thing. It's almost like when you decide that you want a certain car and you pick out the color of the car, you say, okay, I want a purple, BMW. And I'm using that, for example, for me. I want a purple BMW. So you say, okay, I want a purple BMW. And so you go and you look for them on the internet. You find them. You look on Craigslist. You look on Google. You research them. You go look at the car in person. You find a dealership and you go look at it. And you begin to attract that thing to you. And then all of a sudden, you start seeing them everywhere. You look up and everywhere you look, there's a BMW. And not only that, there's a purple one, which y'all know purple is a little different, and many times you have to have that ordered specifically in that color. So you begin seeing that and you start seeing that and you start speaking it because you say, okay, this is my car. This is my car. And then all of a sudden one day you will have it. It's like you'll be guided to go into this dealership or this place that has the car that you desire, and you'll get that car. And that's just one example of your words, thoughts becoming things. And so the typical thing that we like to think, because we have been conditioned and trained from young children many times to think this way, but we begin to think that, everything has to be hard for us. And so a lot of times we'll begin to speak that out of our mouth too. And so what happens is, ta-da, everything is hard for you. It's all hard. And you are looking, staring into the barrel of a hard life. And so when you begin to realize that you can speak your day and you can speak your way to success, to abundance, to wealth, to all the things that you desire, you begin to say that. When you get up in the morning, how do you approach your morning? How do you approach your morning? Do you approach it like this? Oh God, another day. Or, oh God, it's Monday. That's a common one. Oh God, it's Monday. Instead of saying, this is a wonderful, magical day. How is magic going to show up for me this day? How are things going to move in this day? It's like you open your eyes and instead of being thankful that you woke up, because there are many that have not. I've been seeing seeing them so much on Google, so many people that they have not woken up. Their eyes have not woken up. And so that is like the craziest, strangest thing to me, that we wake up in the morning and we don't even acknowledge, the fact that we are alive. That's huge, y'all. So anyway, when you begin to speak, though, when you begin to speak, and a lot of people do affirmations like this. They're like, okay, I'm going to have my house. I'm going to have my dream job. I'm going to have, my business is going to be 6 figures or whatever. But that's not proper. That is not proper, and that's not going to get you anything. And that's why you don't have anything if you're using affirmations in this way. So you want to begin to say, I have, whatever the thing is, or I am, really. Because when you say I am, and you begin to embody the positive characteristics of I am, and you begin to say, I am beautiful, I am intelligent, I am wealthy, I am healthy, I am. Those things that you put after the I am is you stepping into Christ consciousness, stepping into all that you are. So I would challenge you to begin to step into that and say, I am, I am. And, to take it up to another level, do it in the mirror. Do it in the mirror. And I like to tell people to do it in the mirror naked, because that's how you came here. You came here naked and unashamed. So if you begin to do that, I'm telling you, it will change your life. You'll begin to speak things, and you'll begin to see, that things are happening for you. And an example that I read about, I actually can share some examples from my own life, which I am going to. But an example that I read about was somebody wanted to sell their property. They wanted to sell their possessions, because they decided that they needed to minimalize, and they were, wanted to move and didn't want to take all that stuff with them. And so what they started saying was, all my possessions sold easily and quickly. The move was very simple to do. And you know what is wild? When you first begin to speak this way, especially if you have been speaking negatively for all of your life, and then you begin to speak this way, and you begin to speak in a positive mindset, and you begin to speak that everything is working in divine right order and that all is well, you'll feel really strange when you start that. When you start that process, a lot of times you feel really strange, you feel really different, you feel like you're lying, because a lot of times that's what people will say. I'm not saying that, I'm not whatever that is, I'll be lying. But no, you're not. What you're doing is you are speaking your life. You are speaking the word over your life. You're speaking from your higher consciousness. That's what you're doing. And you're speaking into the place that you want to be, the things that you desire, the things that you want, the things that you need. All of these things is ways in order to set your life up. Because what happens a lot of times is we all manifest, and we manifest all the time. Thank you so much for joining me, Boogie Down, and thank you for the lights. But we all manifest all the time. We manifest every day. We have manifested what you are living now. The life you're living now, you manifested with your mouth and your tongue years ago, probably. Because we all manifest. The point is, you want to consciously do it. You want to consciously manifest. And you want to begin to speak those things out of your mouth, regardless of how you feel and how they sound. Because what happens is you'll begin to open up the invitations for these things to begin to occur and to happen in your life as you begin to speak them, as you begin to move forward in your life, and you begin to say, okay, this is who I am. This is who I am. So I'm going to share, one of the things that I spoke, and I use this, I use the law of revision, which is a technique and tool that I learned from Neville Goddard. And so I had a car. My car's 10 years old. And matter of fact, it'll be 11 years old in May. And so I had that car, and it's paid for and everything, and I'm driving it. It has never gave me any major problems. I don't think I've spent over probably no more than $2,000 or $3,000 in repairs, major repairs on that car. Of course, oil changes and tune-ups and brakes and all those other things, tires, whatever. But I'm talking about like major repairs. That car has been good. So the funny thing is my dad had called me and asked me, how was my car doing? If I still have my car. And I was like, yes, I do. I'm going to drive that car until the wheels fall off, until it's not drivable, because it is paid for. And so my husband was driving the car one day and he was on his way to work and the car just died on his way to work on the highway, y'all. Like he was getting onto from one highway to another and the car just died. And so I said to myself, we're not going to have another car now. This car is going to get fixed, and at the time I didn't know what was wrong with it. We were speculating on different things. I said, well, it could be the alternator because that never was replaced. It's the original alternator from, when they built the car 10, 11 years ago. And so, we were speculating, okay, could be this, could be that, all kinds of things. And so, yeah. So anyway, when we sent it to the dealership, because we had it towed to the dealership, they called us back and said, oh, it's going to be a few days. We're backed up, blah, blah, blah. We said, fine, whatever. So when they called back, they called and spoke to my husband. I was at work. And he called me and he said, you want the good news or you want the bad news? And I said, give it all to me. I want it all. So he told me that they said that the engine was blown, blah, 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 but they will call us back and let us know if there's anything they could do and what we need to do and all this stuff. I said, okay. So as soon as he said that, y'all, I'm telling you, as soon as he said that, I said, she's going to call you back. I said, and she's going to say, we're going to fix this car at no cost to you. And do y'all know what happened? Y'all can see by the smile on my face. That is exactly what happened. She called back and she said, we're going to fix this car at no cost to you. That was the most amazing thing that I had ever heard. That's one of the most amazing manifestations that I had besides our car. Now I'll share that too, because we bought another car like last year because we had another car to die and it was old and we had it a few years, but they called us and they said, we're going to fix this car at no cost to you. So I have a brand new engine in my 10-year-old car. So I basically have a brand new car. The only thing we had to pay for was the battery because the battery had died with all this. That was the only thing. Everything else, they covered. So I said, look at this. Look at this. So I have begun to use those same techniques in other areas of my life as well. I started saying, just speaking the word. And speaking the word is speaking the words that you desire. Speaking what you want. And so I started speaking that and doing that in other things, y'all. And y'all know what? It works. Now, I'm going to say something because I also do a lot of work too. Like I do a lot of connecting to the spirit and I do a lot of meditation and I do a lot of sitting in the power. And, I do a lot of work with that. I work with my ancestors, all of that. So I'm going to preface that and say that, but I truly believe that when you start doing it, it will start working for you. It will start working for you. And the thing is when you start doing that and you start stepping away from believing in limitations, and one thing that I say that, when I work with clients, I say that now I'm not here to remove you from your limitations. You have to make up your mind and you have to desire to be removed from your limitations. I'm not here to fight you for them. I make that quite clear. Even when we have a chat before we work together, I say, I'm not here to, fight you for your limitations. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong or anything like that because you know what? That's not my job. My job is to help you to shift, to help you to shift and learn how to speak this word for yourself so that you don't have to go through a priest or a pastor or a prophetess or an evangelist or any of those people, to have your own supreme connection with God, source, universe, spirit, whatever you call him, her, or them. And so I'm super, super excited about just being able to share this, because I know that a lot of people need to hear it, and a lot of people don't want to, but they need to. They need to hear that typically when you begin to open your mouth and speak, and a lot of times I'm going to say this too, because a lot of times when I first started this process, y'all, it was kind of brutal, because some of the things I would say stuff and nothing would happen, but then I realized later that a lot of times it's because you don't believe. You don't believe. So what you do is you start saying it, even despite the fact that you might not believe it, but you just keep saying it. You keep saying it. And eventually you will open up and you will begin to believe it, especially when you want to see some things. And when you want to get to a place where you stop, believing in limitations, and you believe that regardless of what it is, if you desire it and you speak it, then you can have it. You begin to visualize, things that you desire, things that you want, things that you need. You begin to visualize those things, and then they begin to show up in your awareness. You begin to visualize them. I always tell people, visualize and speak. Visualize it, see it, and speak it. Visualize it and speak. I'm so super excited about these concepts, because I actually also did that. I was doing I do readings in a metaphysical shop. So I also do readings too, y'all. So if anybody wants to have one of those, you can reach out to me, because I do them usually on Zoom. And I also have some that I do and send in an email to you. So that's something that anybody is interested in. You can click on the link in my bio. You can go and send me a message on TikTok or Facebook. On YouTube, you can comment below the video and I can reach out to you. You can also go on my Instagram if you're there, and I try to go back and look. I don't do Instagram that much, but if people are reaching out, I try to go and look through the messages and stuff like that. So anyhow, that being said, and I also have a 6-week program, Journey to Radical Acceptance, that I'm accepting people for. We're going to start in May, because I want to make sure that I have the time in order to sit down and do it, because I have a trip that I'm going to in a couple of weeks in April. And so I want to have time. So we're going to start that in May. It's a 6-week journey to radical acceptance. So it's really a 6-week journey to you, understanding who you are, your spiritual gifts, your sacred archetypes. We're going to go over all of that, ways to manifest, affirmations, and how to do them properly, and all these things, just parts of what I'm sharing here today. So typically, as you begin to speak the things that you desire, okay. So another example I can give y'all is we actually bought a new car. Like what's new to us? It's gently, I call it gently used. But we bought a new car about a year ago. Yeah, matter of fact, almost exactly. It was a year ago. I think in February we bought that car. But we weren't planning to buy it. We weren't desiring to buy it. But what happened is one of our other cars had died. And we need to have 2 cars because, it's a lot of driving where we live. And my husband drives 30, 40 minutes to work. And so we needed another car, and we needed a good car. And so my husband said, let's go get a car. So me, because I have had, terrible experiences buying cars. I hate the used car salesman type of thing. And I was like, I don't know about this. And so, I started feeling a lot of doubt. So what I did was I sat myself down and I started talking to myself, and I started praying for me. The Dollar Tree? Okay. Thank you for joining. But I started praying, and I was like, okay, what do I need to do in order to feel, confident to go in this area? So the Holy Spirit just said to me, just be quiet and calm down and just let my husband handle it. And that's what I did, because typically I've handled these things for years for myself. And even with my first husband, I was the person that handled all that stuff because he just wasn't that person. Anyway, we went to the place, sat in the place, and they, looked at the car and all that stuff and drove it and whatnot. And it was amazing, just to be able to do that. And so we sat there and long story long, we got the car. They gave us the car. We took the car home. without putting any money down or anything. And it was just something because, the long of it is, credit was bad. And so we were like, okay, but you know what I thought about? I didn't care about that. I didn't care. I decided that we were going to get this car. I decided that I set that intention for those of you in the metaphysical space. I set that intention, or I decided that we were going to get that car. We were not leaving without a car, even though, we were actually pretty calm about it because we didn't need the car. I mean, we have other cars, but we wanted another car. We wanted a newer car. We wanted that car because it's one that we can drive in this area. If it snows, it rains a lot, so we needed that kind of car. So, I could have said, oh no, we ain't gonna be able to get this because, credit, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. But you know what? I didn't do any of that. I just listened to what the Holy Spirit said and just did nothing. I actually said, yes, we're going to get this car. And every time they asked me a question, I said, yes, we're going to get this car. Yes, we're going to get this car. Because the other part of that is, y'all, I worked part-time for like since the pandemic started, like since June of 2020, I've worked part-time, like 2 days a week, sometimes 3, but most of the time 2 days a week. And so I was thinking about that too. But when I started realizing that it wasn't about me, it wasn't about me. It was about what God, source, universe could do for me. That's what it was about. It was about that. It was not about me. And it wasn't about me thinking about my limitations. It wasn't about me embracing my limiting beliefs. My credit is not all that good. I'm a Black woman, all of these things, because we all have limiting beliefs that, come from society, come from culture, come from our parents, because typically I can say that in the African American community, we teach our children to be respectful. Like I had to actually sit my boys down and say, be respectful of the police when you get pulled over, not if. It's going to be when, because they're going to pull you. Because, I had a nice truck, and they drove my truck sometimes. And so I knew that was going to happen. We knew that because we lived in the suburbs anyway. And so I told them, when they pull you over, be respectful, put your hands on the wheel, do not move, don't do any fucking thing until they tell you to. And all this kind of stuff. Don't fucking be popping off at the mouth, because, that's what these children can do these days. And so these are things that, we had to tell our young men, especially, but girls too now. But we had to tell our young men, especially, this is how you have to behave so that you can come home to me, so that they don't fucking kill you, for being who you are. So this is something that culturally we had to do. And so we do a lot of other things like that. We have done a lot of other things like that culturally as well, that have put us in places of limiting beliefs. So we believe, we could believe that, because we're Black, or because we're Latino, or because we're, Middle Eastern, or because we're not from this country, or whatever. There are so many different beliefs that we can believe. But why? If you can get rid of them and shut that down and let that go, then why continue to believe that? Let it go. Let it go. It's like my Frozen song. Let it go. Let it go. So, you let that stuff go. But you know what? Sometimes it is difficult to do that, especially if you're surrounded by people that stay in that same victimhood mentality, because really that is a victimhood mentality. And I know people will beg to differ from me with that, and I really don't give a shit, but I'm telling you what I know. It is a victimhood mentality. And a lot of times we don't even realize that that is what that is. We don't realize that, y'all. We don't realize it. So when you think about your job, I want you to not say, I can't stand this job, because that is something, to me, it's like, it just brings you back to either that same job or another job just like it. It's almost like when you get all upset and you get divorced and stuff like that, but you don't heal those beliefs that you had. You don't heal the the abuse and the anger and all the stuff that you dealt with, and then you attract the same person. It's not the same person, but it's the same person. It's the same energy. You attract the same energy, and you wonder why you keep getting the same man, or you keep getting the same woman, or you keep getting the same person. Why do you keep getting the same one? Why? It's like if you just take off the mask of one and put it on the other one, it's the same person. So why do we keep getting that? Because of the beliefs, because of the things that we say. Like some of the other things, I don't earn enough money. Okay, so don't say that. Say I earn all the money that I desire and that I need, want, and desire. They don't appreciate me at work. Because what happens is your words create things, y'all. Your words create your life, and they start creating things in your life. And you wonder how they got there. You wonder, how did it get there? That's got me thinking about my other song, y'all. How did we get here? You're not supposed to be here. So you think about that. This is how we got here. This is how we got here, because we are saying, I can't get along with the people at work. I hate my job. I don't know what I want to do. All of these things. But when you begin to shift those words and you begin to speak words that are not negative, that are not defense thinking, that begin to put you in a positive mindset. If you want to change all of that, begin by blessing the thing that you're dealing with. Begin by blessing the current job that you have. Begin by showing love to your coworkers. Begin by showing love to the people that you serve. Begin by showing love to your money. That's a whole nother thing. We can talk about that as well. Begin to show love to your money, and also begin to realize that money is currency. It's called currency because it circulates. It's called currency. Currency. So your money circulates. Begin to see your money as circulating. Circulate your money. So as you pay those bills, don't get mad at the bills, because whatever it is that you did to get the bill, you needed it. Don't get mad at that. Just to thank God that you had the money to pay it. And begin to affirm things like, I always work for the most wonderful bosses. If you're looking for a new job, my boss always treats me with respect and courtesy. My boss is generous and easy to work for. My boss loves me. All of these things, as you begin to do that, then different neural pathways will start to create for your life as well. You'll begin to see things in a different way. You'll begin to see things more positively instead of so much negativity. And a lot of times people wonder why it seems like you get the negative things so much quicker, because that's the space that we've been in for all of these years and all of these decades. We've been in this space where, people are just negative. Like you be around people that's just negative, and I personally, like, I'll go in a store and I'll say beautiful things to the cashiers, especially in places like the Dollar Tree, because they don't treat them good and they don't pay them enough. And so I'll say beautiful things, like I'll say, how's your day going? Just nice things to people, and it's free to be nice, and sometimes when you do that, that also elevates where you are as well, and also you elevate the people around you, and you begin to say things, you begin to affirm, like I know that for me, when I began to affirm that I needed to release my current job with love, my current career really with love, and know that there's somebody that would be delighted to have that job, somebody that would love to have it. It's just not for me. It's just not for me. It was just time for me to do some different things. It was time for me to begin to love what I do, So if that is something that is, where you are, if you're at the space where, you are hating your job, you're hating your life and all that stuff, that's a dangerous space to be. Because what happens a lot of times, that's when people start thinking about suicide, things like that. which to me is like such a waste. I know that people do it and I feel bad for them. And I wish that I could have gotten a chance to speak to a lot of people, because I think about that often when I see people, especially young people that die from suicide or, I call it self-sabotage when they kill themselves with drugs and things like that. That's called self-sabotage because that's what you're doing. You are sabotaging yourself, sabotaging your life. And so when you begin to open up and you begin to just speak that thing, and the thing is it don't take nothing to speak it, y'all. But I noticed that people are so afraid to say positive things because they think that the opposite will happen. But that's an oxymoron. That is an oxymoron. That is not the case. When you begin to speak the positive things, and positive things will happen. Now, a lot of times you've already spoken so much negative till it takes a minute for the positive to catch up. I can go ahead and say that, with all sincerity. It takes a minute. It takes a minute for the things to catch up because you've sowed all this negativity for so long. Think about it, all the years that you've been alive, and all the years after you were 7 when people started, telling you that the things that you saw weren't real, or that your what they call those people, the imaginary friends aren't real and stuff like that, when those typically are your guides or your angels a lot of times looking out for you. But people have told you that's not real and you're not seeing this and you're not blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? And so then you grow up and you think that you have to stay in this negative place because that's where you were, and that's what they've taught us and conditioned us. But when you begin to say things like, I'm totally open and receptive to a wonderful new position, one that uses my talents and abilities and allows me to express creatively in ways that are fulfilling to me. When you begin to create affirmations like that, that is amazing. And then you don't know, you may go somewhere and meet somebody, or you may go on LinkedIn and see something, or somebody might, reach out to you. Hey, Joanna, thank you for joining. Somebody might reach out to you because you have been saying these words over your life. So when I tell people to speak the word, I'm talking about speak the words, the positive words over your life. They speak the things that Christ would want you to say, if that makes sense to anybody. So when you start doing that and you realize, and then the other part too is being open to spirit, being open to the love that you have inside of you, being open and knowing that you are God. No, being open that you are God, that God lives within each and every one of us. And that is one of the things that makes me feel like, oh my God. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But anyway, so I wanted to just share a little bit about speaking the right way on the healing chat, Tuesday healing chat. And so I want to do a healing today because I know that a lot of people are dealing with a lot of different things. But the healing that I'm going to do today, I'm going to do one on stress because I know that stress is huge right now. So if you would like to join me in closing your eyes, taking a deep breath, I'm going to talk a little bit about stress because stress is one of the things that we face, especially in the Western world. But stress is all over the planet. I know that because I work with people all over the planet. Many people are experiencing increased pressure to survive, the bills, achieve success, especially rents are like skyrocketing. And there's so many people already homeless that I think is more than likely going to get worse before it gets better. People complain that there are not enough hours in the day to get things done, and they put extra strain on themselves to complete tasks. This means they neglect themselves and those close to them, which causes their health and well-being to deteriorate. So stressed people often fail to live in the present, focusing instead on future events, such as getting somewhere on time, making some deadlines, obtaining something they want. Stress creates tension in people's minds, bodies, and feelings, and blocks them from moving forward in life. When people are stressed, they tire more easily, their concentration levels decrease, they feel uninspired, and they take longer to complete tasks. Stress is a contributing factor to many physical problems, including strokes, seizures, heart attacks, immune system disorders, jaw problems, memory loss, teeth grinding, nail biting, angina, which is chest pain, anorexia, which is the lack of eating, baldness, candida, which is yeast, and emphysema, among others. So if you're dealing with any of those things, typically stress is the problem. IBS is another thing that I know is stress induced and stress related. So we're going to do a process to release the stress. So you want to place your hands on the part of your body where you feel stressed the most intensely. And then you want to breathe into that area for a few moments, allowing any emotions to rise to the surface with little resistance. So to me, I usually feel stress either in my stomach or in my heart. So I'm going to take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And feel the release of all that stress and tension as you do it. And any emotions that rise to the surface, welcome them. And then relax your hands. Say divine healing intelligence, using the orange red flame of purification. Please help me release all the ways I hold stress in the body. Inspire me to rest, nurture myself, and relax so that I can allow my body to revive and let go of tension, pressure, and strain. Every time I feel tension and stress in my body, mind, remind me to relax, breathe, and unwind. Help me to find humor and lightness in stressful situations and to become healthier, stronger, and more vibrant. Thank you. And then I want you to repeat the word clear several times until you feel lighter. Clear. 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 Observe the orange-red light moving through your body, mind, emotions, and energy field. Begin to clear and dissolve all negative thoughts, words, feelings, memories, images of stress, heaviness, and tension. Take a deep breath. Take another deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then I want to do a process for success. So take a deep breath for me. Close your eyes. Say divine healing intelligence. Bathe me with your gold rays of success, achievement, and fulfillment. Allow me to recognize and celebrate all the success I have achieved in my life and to honor all the people who have contributed to it. Help me expand my horizons, sharpen my abilities, and prepare for the enormous opportunities that are coming my way. I ask to be a magnet for abundance, success, and prosperity, and to share my good fortune with others for the greatest good of all. Thank you. And then I want you to repeat the word clear until several times until you feel lighter. And breathe it in. Clear. Breathe it in. Clear. And breathe it in. Clear. 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 Now, I want to just say that everybody's definition of success is different. Your definition is probably different than mine. Mine is different than other people. So it depends on, what your definition for success is, what success will come for you. But I believe that if you do these processes, they will help you to move forward in your life. They'll help you. So Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for hanging out with me today on Tuesday Healing Chats. I will be back again on Thursday for Thursday Healing Chats. I'm super excited that you have joined me today. If you are looking for some healing, you're looking to have somebody to co-create healing with you, I am available for that. You can send me a message on whatever platform you're watching me on. I am live right now on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. So you can send me a message on any of those platforms. YouTube, you can comment below the video and I'll come back to you. And usually there's also stuff in the description. You can find even my email, I think it's even in there in the description of the videos on YouTube, I believe. You can also find me on Instagram. I am really Tammy Y. Morrison. And you can find me on Facebook as Tammy Morrison. You can find me on LinkedIn as Tammy Morrison. You can find me you can Google me and you can find me all over the place. But I have the 6 weeks journey to radical acceptance program that is starting in May. So if that is something that you are interested in, send me a message, give me a DM. It is in the beta, so it's real cheap right now. Probably won't stay like that, but right now that is, the price that I was guided to do, $444 for 6 weeks. So if that's something that you're interested in, reach out to me. I also have a podcast, Straight Outta Savannah, that I'm always looking for amazing guests to join me. You can also DM me for that as well. I can drop you the link so you can sign up for that. There's also the Healing Hub, which is my healing membership, where I come on and I do more deeper healing than what I just provided. And then also if you need to get a reading, I do angel intuitive readings. So that is something also that you can grab from me if that's something that you're looking for. So again, thank you for hanging out. Also, I have Sister Circle on Meetup. It's called Sister Circle Immersion Experience on Meetup. So if you want to join that for women to come together in community, I do virtual circles on there. That would be amazing. So find me there, join me there. And if you live in the Pacific Northwest area, you can, I don't even know, girl, I don't know. I have to figure that out. I don't even know. If you live in the Pacific Northwest area, I do circles here in Everett, Washington, and I also am starting to do them in Tacoma at Crescent Moon on Tuesdays. And I also have a workshop that I'm doing on April the 8th from 2 to 4 called Discovering You, where we're going to go into our spiritual gifts, our sacred archetypes, and all of these type of things. Okay. All right. User for the mod, follow me, and that way we can talk, because I don't know how that works. I haven't really haven't dived into that yet. But follow me and let's talk about it, and we'll see how we can do. So just send me a message. I guess follow me so you can send me a message, because it won't let me follow you because it says your account is private. All right. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I absolutely love coming in here and doing these healing chats. If there's something that you want me to talk about, send me a message and let me know, because that is always something that I'm interested in. But I will be back again live I'll be live tomorrow, Wednesday, with my Ebony and Ivory on Spiritual Growth Partner Megan Marie. We will be live Wednesday on Facebook from 5 o'clock, I think it is, Pacific time, and 8 o'clock Eastern time. So we'll be live on Facebook tomorrow. And I go live on Thursday, same places, same bat place, same bat channel on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok on Thursdays for Thursday's healing chats. And I also do live on Friday at 10:30. Right now, we're on Facebook. Right now, we're going live on Facebook. So that is something that you would like for us to talk about, because we are talking about the healing power in sharing your story. And so we've been getting real, raw, and vulnerable in sharing our stories to help people, know that they can shift, know that there's help out there for you if you need it. We talked about depression, which was amazing. We talked about postpartum depression, which is something that a lot of people don't talk about. And we talked about the fact that I had no idea that I was even dealing with postpartum depression until I came out of it, I guess. So anyway, but we get real raw and vulnerable about sharing our stories, because that was a part of our healing process as we're writing. And I wrote this book about my mama, and then I wrote this book about my life with my ex. And I wrote another book called Michelle that is an ebook, and it's on Amazon as well. And I'm actually in the process of writing a couple more in addition to all the other things that I do. But however, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I absolutely enjoyed this time. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day, evening, night, or weekend. When you see this, if you want to go back and do some of the healings that I did, you can find them on my Facebook page and also on my YouTube channel. So you can go back and look at those, because I don't think you can go do the replay on TikTok at all. I haven't seen a way to do that. However, thank you so much for joining. Have a wonderful rest of your, whatever it is for you, day, evening, night, weekend. And like I said, I'll be back live again on tomorrow on Facebook, and same place here on Thursday. And then Sunday service with the Morrisons, we're also live on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. So again, thank you for joining us. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your, whatever it is for you. Bye now. Hey, Sean, how you doing? Thank you for joining.